Well, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the JDW SportsTalkShow, where every fan is welcome. And today I will be going through the Chicago Bears schedule and giving you my honest thoughts and who I think they're going to beat, who I think they're going to lose to. And you guys give me your thoughts down in the comment section down below. What do you think their record is going to be? So, week one, they are at the Los Angeles Rams on a Sunday night football game, the Sunday night football opener, right? We all love our Sunday night football. So happy football's going to be back in like a month, less than a month. It's already back, training camp. So, you know, week one, I'm going to have a bit of a surprise here. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears over the Rams in week one. Here's why. Matthew Stafford is in a new system. He's got to learn, some of Sean McVay's new schemes. There's always going to be some new things. Maybe a whole new system from Detroit. Not, incredibly just a flip over, but definitely some new things. They're both going to adjust to each other. The quarterback's going to have to adjust to receivers. The receivers are going to have to adjust to the quarterback. The offensive line is going to have to adjust. The tight ends are going to have to adjust. The running backs maybe a little bit. So, yeah, like, you have to look at both sides. And you have to also realize people are not talking about the loss of Brandon Staley enough. The loss of Brandon Staley and John Johnson of this defense is going to be huge. I'm not saying that this defense is going to be bad whatsoever. It's going to be a really solid defense, but it's going to take a step back. I don't think it's going to be as good as last year because Brandon Staley was such an awesome defensive mind and such an awesome defensive guru that it may take them a few weeks to get used to maybe this new guy, that's new system a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm going to give the Bears a win in week one here. I think the Bears are going to be ready. Um, yeah, new quarterbacks in the Bears system as well. But that system has been implied there for quite some time. And the Bears do have a new defensive coordinator, but Chuck Pagano was gone. Chuck Pagano was okay, So I think this new defensive coordinator is going to be a little better. So yeah, man. So yeah, I really think that the Bears are going to come out to win week one and surprise some people week one. Week two at home versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, now this would be a Bears move, right? To beat the Rams and then lose to the Bengals week two. That would definitely be a Bears move, right? They beat the Rams, considered one of the better teams in the NFC on the first Sunday night opener, right? Makes sense. And then the Bears drop one versus Cincinnati. Now that's not my prediction yet. I'm not giving you my prediction yet, but I think this is gonna be a really fun game. Joe Burrow versus that defense. Now I do think the Chicago Bears defense is going to take a step back as well, but I'm kind of going back and forth there with Chuck Pagano leaving, but I think they're losing some talent. They're really putting a lot on Jalen Johnson to be the number one corner, so that is huge. Um, you do have Cleveland the next week, so I'm gonna give them versus Cincinnati. The Cincinnati defense isn't out crazy. I think the Chicago Bears are gonna pound the ball against the Rams and Cincinnati and beat both of them. Start 2-0. Week 3 at the Cleveland Browns. Now I'm gonna give the Cleveland Browns a win here. I'm absolutely in love with the Cleveland Browns this year. Their offense is gonna be awesome. Their defense is gonna be awesome. Their offense with Baker Mayfield, Odell's coming back, Jarvis Landry, Higgins. I know they drafted another wide receiver, Anthony Schwartz. Their tight ends, David Njoku and Austin Hooper, are really solid. That offensive line is one of the best in the league, if not the best. The defensive line with Myles Garrett, Clowney is coming in, Richardson. There's many people that they still have there, and I really like that defensive line. I know they have someone else, but I'm drawing to think. But nonetheless, their linebacker core is getting better. Walker, JOK. Their safety group is really darn good. I know they actually signed that guy from the Rams. I think John Johnson, I believe. I'm really excited to see him come in. The corners are really good. Denzel Ward, and who's going to get that second spot, Greedy or Greg. That's going to be a fun battle right there, and then we'll see who's going to take the slot. I think they signed Troy Hill. No, I don't know. I don't know if they signed John Johnston or if the Bengals did. I don't remember, but nonetheless, they do have a really good team up and coming. I'm really excited to see them. So I'm taking Cleveland in week 3. Week 4, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears at home versus the Detroit Lions. Now, this would be a total Bears move to lose to the Lions as well. The Lions are a little better than some people may think. They're really good in the trenches. I mean, not great, but, they're decent in trenches. I really like their offensive line. Their offensive line is going to be really good, in my opinion. Um, the wide receivers aren't the greatest. Jared Goff is on and off. It's hot and it's cold. The running back group, I really do like the running back group. Um, Aside of that, man, you go to defense, not really many corners. The defensive line is okay. The linebackers, I really do like Tracy Walker at safety, but other than that, So, I'm going to take the Bears here. Week 5 at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders here. I think the Las Vegas Raiders offense I think this is going to be one of those games where the Chicago Bears defense really struggles. I love Derek Carr. I love Josh Jacobs. That offensive line is not really, not going to be as good as last year. But I think that Derek Carr is going to be able to play small ball with Hunter Renfrow, Ruggs, and do what he needs to do with Waller and get the win over Chicago in Week 5. Week 6 at home versus the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to give the Bears a win here. I know that Aaron Rodgers is playing. I know that he's playing. I'm going to give Chicago the win over here in Green Bay because the Bears are going to pound the crap out of the ball. That's what the Bears want to do this year. There's a common theme that you got to notice here. The Lions, Raiders, and the Bengals and the Rams. All their linebacker cores, all their run defenses are not the greatest. And those are the teams I have them beaten so far, besides the Raiders. So they want to pound the ball. Against those 4 teams, they're going to be able to pound the ball pretty successfully, even against the Cleveland Browns. Maybe they do beat the Raiders. I could see them beating the Raiders. I just think that's the Raiders' game to win. In October, the Raiders are really good in the beginning part of the season. And, from September to the beginning of the season to mid-October, the Raiders are usually really good. And I think that the Raiders win this game versus Chicago. And then Week 6, right? I think they're going to pound the crap out of that ball. And I think Andy Dalton or Justin Fields is going to do what they need to do. I do like Andy Dalton more than some people may think. Now, I really do like these Bears receivers. Allen Robinson, Wims, Mooney. They do have some really nice receivers in that room. I know they drafted someone. Drawing a blank. I think it was Daz Newsome. I think he could be a really good slot guy, but I think he's going to return case a little bit too. But I really like that name. Daz Newsome is a really fun name, and he's going to be a really fun guy to watch this year. I'm excited to see him. So, in that offensive line, the Bears, I think it's going to do just fine. And even if it's Justin Fields or Andy Dalton, I'm still confident that they're going to beat the Packers once, especially at home. Week 7 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to give Tampa Bay this game, man. Like I said, the Bears want to pound the crap out of the ball. And their defense is declining. I think the defense is slowly declining, and I think they're going to take another step back this year. So Tampa Bay, right? Really good offense, really good defense, really bad matchup for any team in the NFL. Quite frankly, they basically have everything. What don't they have, right? So Chicago, this is where they're really going to struggle versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has really good defense. Whether Chicago's going to play Dalton or Fields, are going to be able to stop Fields' running ability. And I don't think Dalton is going to have a day versus Tampa Bay. These wide receivers could have a day maybe on these corners. I do like the receivers and Allen Robinson, but it's a matter of fact of the quarterback, maybe the quarterback play. So yeah, I'm gonna take Tom Brady and Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. Week 8 at home versus San Francisco 49ers. Man, oh man, this is gonna be an exciting game. The Niners, who is going to be Trey Lance versus Fields, Dalton versus Jimmy G. Hopefully, to be Trey Lance versus Fields. I'd love to see that. 2 rookies going at the 2 first-round rookies. I'd love to see that. Fields was kind of expected to go 3 instead of Lance. So, that's kind of a little rivalry there that the Bears and the Niners may have. So that's going to be fun to watch. But, the Niners I think the Niners win this game. And I'm taking the Niners because I think, they're going to be healthy by now. They should still be healthy. They had that one full year with injuries last year. Kittle's going to be healthy. And they do have some nice receivers in Thankyou, Samuel. They do have some receivers, and I think that Kyle Shanahan's system is going to really help them get open versus this Bears defense. So I'm taking San Fran in this game. Week 9 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, oh man, this is a good old defensive battle, right? Pittsburgh and Chicago, Monday night game, Monday night primetime. Going to be an awesome game. These are the kind of games I love. I love the defensive battles. And who do I think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win in this primetime game? Pittsburgh's got defense, but I think their defense is going to take another decline next year as well a little bit. This is a tough one. These are two really similar teams, but I'm gonna take the Bears. I'm gonna take the Bears over Pittsburgh because I think the Bears have a better offensive line. I think the Bears are gonna be able to do what the Steelers want to do better. I think that Bears defense is gonna be more consistent. Um, I think that this Bears offensive line is gonna be much better than Pittsburgh's, even though Pittsburgh's defensive line may be a little better. I think that Bears offensive line maybe is gonna do just fine. Um, Yeah. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers with their offense line, I'm not a huge fan of theirs. They're not going to be able to run it well. And Big Ben is going to struggle against this defense. So I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. Week 10 is a bye week. Week 11, at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. Man, this is going to be another fun game. Kind of offensive versus defense this time, or run heavy offense versus defensive game versus a really good defensive team. So, kind of another old school type of game here, maybe. Besides the quarterback being all crazy, running crazy, but Hollywood Brown, Bateman, Wallace, Andrews, Jackson, of course, Dobbins, Gus Edwards. It's going to be a tough game for the Chicago Bears. That's for sure. But, who do I take here? You know, I think I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens in this one. Yeah, I get the Bears are coming off of a bye. I get that. But I think the Ravens defense is going to do enough against Dalton or Fields, whoever it is. Um, I think that offense is going to be able to score a bit on that Chicago defense. So I'm going to take Baltimore. Week 12 at the Detroit Lions. Um, I was thinking about taking Detroit once because of that offensive line, their ability to run it is going to be, and they're going to be able to run at a very high level next year. So, is that enough to beat the Bears though? I don't think so. So, maybe if Fields or Dalton is in and they have a crappy game, and maybe they get upset by the Lions, I could definitely see that. I could honestly really see that. But I'm gonna take Chicago. I think Chicago sweeps them. I'm not a big fan of the Detroit Lions. I really think that the Lions have definitely could beat them once. The Bears are one of those teams since their quarterback play is a little iffy and weird at times. They could have those kind of games where they lose to teams they shouldn't. So, you know what? I'm gonna take Detroit. Yeah, I'm gonna take Detroit here. So, yeah, maybe a little bit of a surprise, but I'm gonna take Detroit in the upset. Week 13 at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. Man, oh man, another fun game, another really fun freaking game. Um, but I'm gonna take the Bears. I think that Bears defense line is gonna get to Murray. They're gonna be able to keep him in the pocket where Kyler Murray really struggles. Yeah, man, I'm not really high on the Cardinals. The Cardinals is one of those teams. They got those action-packed trailers. The trailers look sick. The movie posters look sick, but the movie itself has its moments, but it ultimately fizzles out and kind of sucks. Kind of leaves you wondering what were all those trailers about? What were all those movie posters about? Cardinals right now, if you ask me. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna take the Chicago Bears in this one. Week 14 at the Green Bay Packers. I'm taking Green Bay in the second game here. I had the Bears taking one. The Packers are ready, so I'm gonna take the Packers in this one. Week 15 at home versus the Minnesota Vikings. I think that the Bears and the Vikings are in a split. Even though the Vikings have really really darn good offense and defense, but it is Monday night. We know how Kirk plays on Monday night and Thursday in these type of primetime games. That's not something that you really should consider, but at the same time you should, but because Kirk Cousins always has struggled on Monday night, but and that Bears defense is gonna have a game. I think that Bears defense is gonna make that young offensive line struggle. It's gonna make Dalvin Cook struggle a little bit. Yeah, the receivers are pretty darn good, but I'm going to take the Bears in this one. Week 16 at the Seattle Seahawks. Man, oh man. It's going to be a fun game as well. Offense versus defense, kind of again. You know, the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, Metcalf, Lockett. Once again, they're playing a really darn good receiver duo 2 weeks in a row. Um, but I think the Bears are going to be able to pound the ball on Seattle and keep Russ and that offense off the field. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears in this one. Week 17 at home versus the New York Giants. Man, oh man. Who do you pick here? This is going to be another defensive battle. I think the Giants have a better secondary, but I think the Bears have a better pass rush. Um, Jones versus Fields or Dalton. I'm gonna take Dalton or Fields over Jones until I see more from Jones. Um, Man, yeah, the Giants have really good secondary. Can maybe pick off Fields or Dalton's a few times, the quarterback a few times. The defense line is decent. Safeties are decent. Linebackers are okay. Offense is eh. Offensive line, not a big fan of that. That's going to be the factor. That New York Giants interior offensive line is going to be the factor for me. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. I think that Chicago Bears defense is going to really, that defense line especially is going to make that interior New York Giants offensive line struggle big time. Daniel Jones isn't going to be able to step up. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears in this game. Week 18 at the Minnesota Vikings. Um, you know, I had the Bears taking the first one around. I'm going to take the Vikings this time. I think the Vikings are going to take it over this time. So, I think the Vikings and the Bears are going to split. I think I'm basically having the Bears split the whole division, which I think is really possible. I could definitely see them beating Green Bay once, but also losing to the Detroit once. That's how division games work. That's how divisions go half the time. So, you know, really, really fun team to watch out for with Justin Fields. Kind of for the first time in a very long time, the Bears are kind of taking on a new approach in the offensive ways. Um, Justin Fields more of a runner. Yeah, a very good passer, but obviously he's a really good runner as well. The Bears really haven't had his explosiveness as a runner with the QB in forever. I wonder if they ever really did. Cutler, Trubisky, Foles. Yeah, not really. So, maybe a long time ago, but yeah. I think this Bears team is gonna be fun to watch. So I have them beating LA. I have them beating Cincinnati, beating Detroit once, beating Green Bay once, losing to Tampa Bay, losing to San Fran, beating Pittsburgh, beating Arizona, beating Minnesota once, beating Seattle and New York. So that's like 9 wins there. That's a decent season. Enough to make the playoffs. I'm not sure. The NFC West is probably going to take up a few spots in that playoffs. The Seahawks, Rams. I don't think the Cardinals are going to make it. I'm not signing the Cardinals as many people. The Niners maybe. Um, and then you go. Yeah, I think the Vikings are probably going to make it over the Bears if you ask me. Um, there's a lot of different places you could go with this division in that playoff bracket. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your record predictions for the Chicago Bears. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with. And as always, if you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next video.